I think everybody knows everybody here, but in case somebody doesn't, the gray-haired man is me, Bill Gallman. I'm your LOLA president. The guy in the red shirt, that's Dustin Perkel, our assigner, and then um, Steve Luxian, Colonel Luxian, with that big head of hair. He is our chief referee. So let's go ahead
Okay.
and get started with video number one. And I'll tell you that neither Dustin nor Colonel Luxian have seen any of these videos. So here's number one. Start out with something relatively simple. So you two guys go ahead and take it and tell me what you see. I know what was called here. This is Loyola playing Newman up in Shreveport in February of 2020.
What do you see, Justin? I got nothing.
I don't see anything. I did see a little one-hand reach. You can see number 12 does a little one-hand reach to try and make a check, and it looks like he barely even makes contact with the player in possession of the ball.
And the contact that drives the ball out of bounds here is, for me, I'm not calling this. It's on the side. His head's in front of, actually kind of in front of the guy. So
I mean, he does, you can see here, he just does a little reach. I mean, it looks like he barely even makes contact. I mean, it does, yeah, he does hit him, but I mean, doesn't even look like he really makes that hard contact.
Right. So in this case, nothing. The little case where he's sitting on the sideline and gets the little bump from directly behind out of bounds, you may have to call that. That sucks. It's even less contact, but there's a bigger advantage gained. But here, I see this as a good check.
Yeah.
Okay. I can tell you what was called. What was called in the game, rightly or wrongly, is that check right there to the shoulder, the upper right back, was called a flash. So that drew a flag.
Yeah,
I'm telling you what was called. That was called by the trail official on the left. It's not included in the screen. But I thought it was a little interesting to look. We've talked about warding. This was not called a ward. But I'm looking at the guy in green. I don't think that's an illegal check that he's delivering. I think he's delivering it to his side. This is just me talking.
Right.
But he ends up on his back. And it looks to me like the guy, the offensive ball carrier, saw the guy coming, braced, and the guy bounced off of him. I would not call that a ward.
That's good lacrosse. That's lacrosse.
Yeah.
I have nothing here.
Right.
And then on the slash call, the guy behind is seeing that contact probably a lot clearer than most people. But that's, depending on the game, there's a lot of context here. So we're looking at 5 seconds. I'm passing on that. I'm typically passing on that.
I'll tell you that this was a 10-point game, and Green was winning.
Yeah. So maybe if Wade is starting to get a little hot and you're doing some game management, then maybe you call that. But,
okay.
It's a game management decision, not necessarily
nothing there.
Yeah.
Here's another relative softball.
Oh yeah.
That's Bill Gallman making that call.
Definitely.
Bill Gallman getting big air. I'm getting big air on the flag toss.
Definitely a blindside hit.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting for high school. That's the guy has no idea, can't see it coming, can't prepare. I'm seeing the defenseless player call, and however you want to call that, that's at least going to be 2 minutes for the defenseless.
So we definitely see the hit here, and I know we're talking about in general just the action that we're seeing, but I want to talk about the mechanics of the officials on this. So we can see that appears to be Bill, yeah. He's a single side official, and we can see that our lead official is below GLE. It looks like he's approximately 5 yards below GLE. And if there's contested play below GLE, we definitely want our lead officials to drop below GLE to cover the action, especially near the end line. But when you have a player who's at the X and he makes a quick pass to the crease, that lead official needs to get back to the GLE to rule on a goal instead of standing 5 yards below GLE on this particular play here.
Right. And he makes no good pickup. He makes no attempt to move back towards GLE. that lead official, assuming that he's the lead, and I'm guessing that
he's the lead.
Yeah, he needs to be closer to that goal line extended. Now, sitting below is not an issue. A lot of times, that's a good position to be in to see the field. But your primary, like Dustin's pointing out, your primary responsibility is that goal line. Did the ball completely cross the plane of the goal? And there's no way that he can make a really good assessment of that. And if he's up, if he's up here at goal line extended, it is much more defensible with the coach that he's in the perfect position, watching it break the plane if it were to go halfway into the goal or partially or completely into the goal.
I would think that at a minimum, he should be taking a couple of quick steps towards the goal as that ball gets right up there, and make at least a motion to get closer to the crease, because a shot's coming.
We have a question in the chat box about, is this something that would be an ejectable since he lifted off the ground for the hit? Now, I'm going to tell you, he hits him in the shoulder. He doesn't hit him in the head, and it doesn't look like he falls through up high. I'm not thinking anything with an ejection on this hit. Definitely, I'm probably protect the defensive player here. I'm not thinking any ejections on this.
Right, and I'm probably at the low end. 2 minutes with my crew talking about what it is and moving on. Now, Bill, a conversation for you. Now, we don't want to point out necessary referees, and this is no indication on Bill. But with that guy caught low, I would like to see Bill down closer to goal line extended, covering
on the goal line.
that other guy.
But I'm actually in a better position to make this call.
In the sense that if our lead official is off the GLE, single side's got it covered. And then this is where, communicating with your partner official. If I'm not on the GLE, I'm telling my partner, you got it, you got it. Your single side official should know that if that lead official steps off of the GLE, you got to get down there and cover it. And the single side official is going to stay covering the GLE until that lead official gets back up there and says, all right, Bill, I got it. It's mine now. Some type of communication. And so we know that we have where we make our money is covered.
Right. So a couple of thoughts here for more experienced referees. As we get more experienced in age, it gets harder to cover goal line to goal line. And, you might have to cheat a little bit higher. So acknowledge that. For our youngsters that are new, really where we expect you to be is a lot tighter in managing all the issues around the crease. So we want you a little bit lower on that single side, and then jump on your high horse and your young legs and race yourself down the field when the ball switches sides.
This was the first game. This was our first game of the season for me and the other officials. And Caleb Terry's in the house. Caleb, glad you could make it. So Rob's asking for the consensus of the call. I think, if I recall, this was a 2-minute defenseless player. He wasn't ejected, and then he didn't get 3 minutes. It was a 2 minutes defenseless player. Anybody?
He didn't see it coming. And so we're at 2 to 3 minutes. I see that as he does nothing else illegal. Maybe if he goes up higher to the head, a little bit harder hit for me, then I'm going to 3. But that's a discussion with the crew. Man, I saw him hit. I saw him hit. Okay, then maybe we can go to 3.
We just lost Dustin. But I do have this question about
non-releasable, right, Rob?
Yes. That's mandatory in high school. 2
minutes non-releasable minimum. 3 minutes and with consideration for ejection.
Now, the defenseless player and the blindside language that came in some years ago, it raises this question for me. Can we anymore have an illegal body check that's delivered to the back of the player? Or does that automatically in high school have to be 2 minutes since it hit him in the back? And it's the
I still think we get that. When you're the nice thing about that rule book is, first of all, to all our referees, and this is things that Rob Wyman taught me, and other old school gray guys taught me, is know the rule book. And the rule book gives you a lot of flexibility. So in that case, so in your question, when you have that push from behind, that is more of a hit from behind.
Right, more than a push.
Right. When you're kind of on that borderline. Yeah,
in between a push and a big hit from the back. Yeah.
And use it. And in the discussions, that should be, okay, we have this range of calls. Where are we on this? And that comes down for that really good cruise on game management of where do we need to be on this call.
Yeah, Rob's talking about
consistently throughout the game. Yeah, and how consistently throughout the game, how we've been calling it. If we've been calling a soft game, we cannot go necessarily on that push in the back hit as net, the 50-50 push versus in the back hit to the defenseless player.
Right. Otherwise, we'd be going from a 30-second to 2 minutes, and there's got to be something in between.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
All right.
My computer froze up. I had to restart everything.
All right. Let's go to number 3 here.
Wait a second. If it is defenseless, it's its own category. So Rob points out that, yeah, so anytime we have defenseless, we are stuck. But like that discussion we just had, the blind kind of push from behind / hit from behind, you have room to go with the illegal body check from behind, in my humble opinion.
Now, Frank's asking, he's saying that defenseless often involves a third party.
I'm not quite sure what he means. Give us a little bit more.
Like receiving a pass from somebody and you got your head turned.
Yeah, and I would look at the consequence. Could he hold off? Did he lay him out hard? All of those kind of things, are what I'm looking at. And it's a way to lock them in. So again, know the rule book and know your flexibility. And if you need to lock a guy in, you need to go defenseless.
I see a cross check here.
Okay, this is Caleb. You're the all-star here. This is actually Caleb Terry's first league game that we called back at that school, and this was after Hammond got rained out early in the season. This first weekend of the season.
It's Lake Christian High School.
Yeah. We played with those plastic. And it was a last-second change of venue because of the rain. We played with these plastic creases.
So here's where, in my professional job, we've been doing a lot of work on contact to the head with drones. And I'm getting extremely concerned about any kind of contact to the head. And then there was also a college study with one of the Ivy League schools, just in practice, looking at damage to the head. We really, as officials, and again, we're going to need to talk about this as a association, and with support of the league. Do we get these kind of checks that anything that comes up in the head, do we clean it up? I'll tell you, at the NCAA level, they really are getting on the refs now to clean this shit up, to get it out of the game, call the penalty, call in the head, and put them away for 2 to 3 minutes. In that case, I would say probably the most appropriate call in my mind, seeing it at this speed and having time to look at it, is that's a cross check to the head, should be 2 minutes locked.
Right. One thing to keep in mind in NFHS, looks like the whistle's blown when the ball hits the ground here. We have to wait for goodies. Right. So this would be a flag down, slow whistle.
I think he blew it when it went out of bounds because he's got a little. Here, let's see. Yeah, he blew it when it went out of bounds. What it is? And Caleb's just having a stroke in the park there.
So
Bill's picture and Lux's picture is covering the sideline, so I didn't even see that right there. I'm at the.
So to Bill and us as a association, we need to make the determination. Are we going to call that when we see it clearly enough that that's a 2-minute locked in because we've gone up into the head?
Yeah, to cross check it, at least into his neck. Yeah.
The coaches
It's certainly above the shoulders. No doubt it's above the shoulders.
So I think we need to get a little bit more aggressive, although the league coaches seem to be doing just the opposite. But it's our job. We're the only nonpartisans out there. The coach's job is to rule for his players, and the other coach's job is to rule for his players, the fans. We are the only ones kind of protecting ultimately the safety of all players. So I would say we need, if we see that, we need to call a minimum of 2 locked.
Well, Caleb's reminding me that that's exactly what he called. That's what was called in this game.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the next one. These next couple are a little subtle, but I think they're cause for to see some things to discuss here.
Nothing.
Push. See the push. He calls a push.
He's calling a loose push on green 11.
That's tough.
Yeah.
He gives him a little forearm. It's kind of subtle, but I think the guy did give him a little forearm that shoved him off the ball.
Again, guys, when we're dealing with those technical fouls, we should always be thinking of what was it enough of an advantage gained? And I'm not sure it was there, but if that's what he's thinking, now the rest of the crew needs to call those ticky-tack pushes, at least for a little while, consistently at both ends.
If they were ball watching and saw the foul, but if they were not ball watching, they might not have seen this.
Right, exactly. And then you talk about it. You talk about it at the timeout or the quarter. What happened to make that call? So everybody's aware of it.
Now, how about Chief Referee Luxian? What about the official that called the play on? What about his hand signals and mechanics?
Yeah. Real quick, he's real fast on it. So remember, when we give hand signals, so I tend to start with the penalty area, so people can see it. Big push, demonstrative signals. It doesn't have, there's no reason to be fast there. Big push, boom, possession. You see how quick he is.
Yeah, I thought they were fast, and that's being, we're being real picky now.
Yeah, but, that's all just. Again, just kind of, you want everybody to be very clear on what you're calling. There's no rush in that call. Take your time.
Yes, so if number 4 comes in there and makes contact with the goalie's cross, yes, that is a technical foul, interference on white.
Should be a play on. No, and
well, we have technical fouls by white and by green. So,
but I think in this case, though, possession's gained, and they killed the play on. So this is a dead ball technical, which there's really not much of a such thing as a dead ball technical. I mean, I think we don't call dead ball technicals other than the weird thing like too many players on the field or something like that. But as far as a conduct,
once green gets possession, the play on has to be over because you had the green pushed. So,
but if there was not a play on, you're absolutely right. That would have been goalkeeper interference.
So and then we let the goalie either come out of the crease, complete a pass, and if not, then we're going to give him a free clear.
A free clear. That's right. He's going to get a free clear if he doesn't complete his pass or run the ball out. That's right, Frank. That's post, just barely post whistle. Might not even have to be depending on the actual whistle, but when the official saw that green had possession and then went to blow his whistle, it's not actually the sound of the whistle that stops the play. It's when that official sees possession's gained, it's over, because it takes a little bit of time to get it up there and blow.
Right.
The team that committed the penalty is the team that gained possession, so that's when the play on stops. Right there.
Right. Yeah. All right. Let's go on to the next one here. Same game. I think I fixated on this game because the video quality was good. Some good camera work too.
That's similar to the previous play that we just watched. A similar type of
Right. So
shove.
they are being
Both
consistent here,
players,
Luxy.
Right.
both
So,
times the player who
Same
was doing
official
the
though.
pushing, he
right.
grabs. He has both of his hands on the cross. He does maybe a little bit of an extension, just to nudge the guy. But I tell you this, the the type of hits that we have passed on that are more egregious. If we're passing on these more egregious contacts that we consider to be legal body checks, then this has definitely got to be passed right here.
Right. So my thought is, guys, think about, is he on his side and how much of an advantage he, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to frustrate the players and the coaches with the flag all the time. So this is where the art of the game is born. When you are good enough that you let the players play. Now, if they're getting out of control, what a great place to call that call, right? They're doing shit, they're hitting each other, they're slashing. Call it and call a tight game. But when you can, let this stuff flow so that your other portions of your game, as you get to personal fouls, they actually mean more.
Rob, I don't think his hand is off the stick.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah,
Did it pop off?
yeah,
It does. He does take his hand off the stick and push him. Good eyes there, Rob. Yeah. I
Yeah,
can see
good
that white
eyes.
glove now. Yeah, I didn't see that.
But again, technical foul, Rob. Are you ready to make that call? It depends on the game.
Well, he's calling at least a push with free hand or
Yeah, and it's a loose ball, so it's a fairly easy call. No penalty, nothing else.
Dustin, what's your arm motion for playing with the free hand?
I do a little, yeah, playing with the free hand.
That's not in the book.
No, it's not. I know I shouldn't be making stuff up, but playing with the free hand should be a ward call.
And let's see, Glenn Colvin's in the house. Hey, Glenn, I'm glad you could make it. Glenn's pointing out, and I saw this too. Brian Langer, I think, is our near side official. I think that's the single side.
Yep.
He has a hand up, and he's giving this. I'm not sure. Brian's not with us. He couldn't make it, but I'm not sure what he's illegal proceduring about.
Well, then it would be the hand, right? Yeah.
Is the signal for playing with the free hand illegal procedure?
Yes.
It's not.
No, that's a ward. That's
okay.
A ward. It's not playing with the free hand.
Well, then I stand corrected. Then I think Brian probably did see the free hand, like Rob did, and
so good on Rob. And again, one of the things that in my pregame I talk about, especially with teams that are not necessarily the top of the line, that are doing a championship game or something like that. When we see little stuff, let's get the ball up into the sticks. You get a little push, you get a little hand off the stick. Let's call it. Let's get it into the sticks so that we don't have a big, mean, nasty hit like two is running in there ready to wallop the guy. We don't want that. It's coming, so don't let it happen.
Now this is more of the push that we need to make sure we call.
I missed it. I didn't see it.
You see here single digit number. Looks like number 6 or 8.
Right.
No, I can't.
This is every official's fear. Everybody does it. I've done it. That's
great whistle. Good call on the push.
Yeah.
What? And one other thing that I've, now, I don't know, I'm now over, I guess, 20 years. One of the things that I have not called very well, it's a little different than this, is if that guy were to lose his stick and kind of stay in and prevent the defense from losing it, I've always let that go. I'm much more now in the view that, he's playing without a stick, get the ball up into the stick. In the NCAA discussions, it's been, hey, the guys had to deviate. Let's get the ball up in the stick.
We'll stay tuned for that.
That's
call.
definitely.
I have a couple of good ones of that. But look at this again. Is there a problem here?
Well, you see, the thing is that we want to make sure that White has an opportunity to make a free clear, and
Yeah,
White
play
on the
on.
3 here is a scoop and go. So, I think that we kind of prematurely blew the whistle on this one.
But under the new rules, you get that kid to stop and re-blow it. The other players have to get 5 yards away from them. So,
Look at it again, though. White was offended. Play on. White scoops it up and is running down the field, and they blow the whistle.
I know. So my point is, with the quick whistle, get the players stopped.
Okay, to repair it, to repair it, to repair the
right, to repair it, and you can immediately start again. And Green now has to get 5 yards going down the field.
That's a good point.
Have to delay the whistle again. Get it going. Now, what you don't want to have happen is 3 running down the field and then you blow it in. Because now he's kind of gotten way too much of it.
So, Zach, hey, Zach. Zach, I think you were in this game, and I think that might have been your whistle. Do you remember it? Zach, do you remember that?
Actually, was that him?
That was him, yeah.
That's him.
Yeah, he does remember it. That's why, yeah, okay, good. This is the confessional. We're in the confessional tonight.
Yeah, shit happens. Shit happens.
Okay.
And we don't want play-ons to go forever either. So this is going to happen. But under the new rules, blow that whistle dead, player stops, blow it into play again.
Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Speaking of mistakes by officials. Here we go. So be thinking
flag down.
Goodies on this one. We're not going to debate the 2 slashes. Those were 2 slashes. One there and one there.
In goodies, the subsequent foul is going to stop the play unless we have an imminent scoring opportunity. And that player there is making an attempt at he's got a straight shot to the crease. Yeah, we gotta hold that whistle there.
I agree. Maybe if it's all the way back on but you got a fast break, I let it play.
So to continue on with it, if that player, let's forget the fact that the whistle was blown for a second. If he has a scoring opportunity, if he got an imminent scoring opportunity, we let him go. If he runs below GLE, the imminent scoring opportunity is now over. So we would stop and administer the penalty. But we do have the whistle.
This is a great example, I think, of an imminent scoring opportunity.
Yeah,
Sure.
It is.
How about this? If the guy, when he shoots, if that ball goes in, what can we do to correct that mistake by official? Anybody?
You can't. You blow
Nothing. Nothing. This could be the state championship. Overtime goal goes in, but once the whistle is blown, you cannot allow a goal.
You can go tell it to the coach.
Right.
You go tell the coach.
There is no one blowing a whistle.
You're by yourself. Go talk to the coach.
Right. I'll tell the coach that the slash is a judgment call. I don't want to talk to you. All right.
So on a inadvertent whistle, the team who is in possession of the ball or entitled to possession of the ball is going to regain possession at the spot where the whistle was blown to stop play. This case, the ball was stopped outside of the attack area, and so we can just restart play where the whistle was blown. If the whistle was blown while the play is inside the attack area, we're just going to move them laterally outside and restart in one of the alleys.
Of course, in this case, we got 2 flags down. It's a flag down restart.
Sure.
So let me also bring up the inadvertent. I don't know if you're going to cover this, Bill, but inadvertent flag. If you throw an inadvertent flag, obviously not in a situation, blow the whistle, blow it as soon as you can to correct the situation, because the offense is disadvantaged in thinking that they're going to get a penalty in their favor. So blow that dead as quick as you can too. No imminent scoring opportunity.
Now, Wyman's saying that he's wondering if we're talking about the definition of an imminent scoring opportunity, and it's not in the rule book. That is not defined. I think Lux, were you or Perkle were saying you got a rule of thumb from some higher up official talked about as long as they're running directly towards the goal,
Yeah.
once they stop and cut away. Was that you, Dustin?
Yeah, there was one webinar I was watching. It was, months ago, and the way that they were describing the scoring opportunity, he's got to be making a direct shot towards the goal, and it does clearly look like this player here is making a direct motion towards the goal. He's not trying to run around anybody. He's not trying to look for a pass. He's going to make a shot. And you can see here he's already cranked up to go for it.
Yeah.
If he does anything to deviate from that crease, if he makes go around somebody, I'm looking for that guy to go right towards the goal, right towards the crease.
In my humble opinion, same thing is the guy's got a direct path to the goal. We have a fast break. I'm letting it go. Is it imminent? Yes, because he has the advantage. We're taking the advantage away from the team that's been already punished. I mean, that by the foul, right? The foul's coming, and they're going to get an advantage out of that. I let it play on. I'll let it go, and then I can clean it up later. If I blow the whistle, that's irreversible.
Right.
We have a lot of people in the chat area that's talking about from how far away. It's not in the attack area. Honestly, we want to make sure that they're in the offensive half of the field. It doesn't necessarily have to be inside the attack area, but he's got to be making an attempt, and you think that he is going to drive to the crease. He's not jogging. He's more at least 3/4 speed to a full sprint going to try and score. And if he's at the 40, if he's at the 45, and he's going for it, let him go.
Yeah. And again, you see Rob.
Now listen to see how far away they can shoot.
Rob and a few people are kind of chomping at the bit here. If you don't know the game, you're a young official, yes, maybe on the offensive half. But if everybody's sucked in and a guy's got the ball, catching the ball, scooping it, coming towards the midfield line, and he's all by himself, I'm letting it go. He has the advantage. I'm not going to take that advantage away from him for the penalty. I am not going to do that. And you guys can do what you want to do. That's why you're officials out there. But my recommendation is, again, if you don't know and he's kind of on the offensive side of the field moving towards, that's all great and well. But if you do know the game and a guy's all by himself, he's got an advantage. We have a man-up situation and a fast break. Let that play out.
Just to review the history of this whistle on the second flag, for a long time, that was only in under 2 minutes. When we were under 2 minutes and a team was leading by 4 or fewer. And I think it was intended to prevent a hack fest when the defense is going nuts and they're just beating everybody and they're fouling like crazy, just to stop that. Now I'm not sure why NFHS went to it, anytime during the game. It's been suggested it's because high school officials can't remember more than 2 players' numbers at a time. But I think in the spirit of the rule, here's what I kind of think about it. You would not want to encourage a trailing player to make a second personal foul or technical foul to stop the fast break. You don't want to encourage him. So if it smells like a fast break, whether or not he's inside the box. I mean, I felt bad when I looked at this. I hadn't looked at this game in a long time, but I felt bad that I blew that. I stopped this imminent scoring opportunity, and I should have let that one go. But it is not defined, and we're kind of making up what we think is imminent. But I think if you have a fast breakish looking thing, and the guy's got an opportunity to dodge a guy and keep going to the goal and shoot and score,
right?
Don't take that away from him, I think.
But don't make it be that, so on the other side, and now I'm talking at the other side of my face. Don't make it be that he has to kind of major dodge on some dude going down the field to get the fast break. Right there, that's a 50-50 call, Bill. I mean, there's still a dude on him. I'm okay. It's defensible. But he could have stopped that play.
Yeah, he was in his wind up when I blew it. Anyway,
That's
It's just a reminder that if there's an imminent, if it looks to you like the guy's got a great chance to score, just hold your whistle a little bit. Just remember that.
So Ratner says we need to be consistent. I'll tell you that's the 50-50 call there. More than likely, with this, depending on when this slash occurs, right there, now you have the guy still playing him. I am making that call like Bill did. I am probably blowing the whistle if you want to know. But this is the 50-50 call. Any more than that, you need to blow the whistle. Any less, the guy's going towards the goal like he ends up going, then no, don't blow the whistle.
Well, since we're having the confessional tonight, I will confess I wasn't thinking the imminent. I'd forgotten about the imminent business, and I just knew goodies, blow the whistle. Yeah. And I didn't even think about it.
The slash occurs there, and he's still got to beat
there. Yeah, it's on about the 40, about the 38 or so.
Right.
I think we're finished with this one. Let's move on to another mistake by an official who's not in the house, so we can rag him all we want. But this is an easy mistake to make too. So take a couple of looks at this and see if you can figure out what went on here.
He did have some action 5 yards away from the ball.
There.
Between green and white.
I'm not sure what even happened.
Green's got the ball.
Number 2. I think it looked like the white number 2. And green number 7. Looks like they run into each other. It looks like white is the player that initiates the contact. Number 2 goes into number 7. So green has possession of the ball. If there's calling a foul here, then that's a flag down, slow whistle.
Yeah.
Right. But the whistle was blown. So this is an inadvertent whistle, and I think the official saw interference and just kind of forgot who had the ball and blew the whistle to turn it over. But then he realized, no, that was the defense. That should have been a flag down for interference, flag down, slow whistle, wait for goodies.
Yeah.
Because Brian gives us a signal. He's not on these Zoom.
He calls the interference. So
here we go.
Here's what I would ask you guys to think about when you have a situation like this is, what we don't know if that these guys been bumping and grinding on them. And then if they have, then you need to take care of business. But really, is there an advantage? Again, technical foul. Is there an advantage gain? If there is, then call it. And throw the flag, delay the whistle. But otherwise, talk to the guys. And then if he ignores you, then throw the freaking flag for when he does it again. And we don't know what has happened throughout the game.
Zach says here they've been chippy all night.
Yeah, so it's a great opportunity to do that.
As far as advantage, disadvantage, I think the guy knocks him off of his cut. And, he kind of hits him a bit, and they're way far away. I think that's an okay interference call.
I mean, it is interference. So I would say, yes, you can make that call. But really, was there an advantage gained? I'm not so sure there really is. Not much. There's not much.
No, I mean, go ahead. If you take a look at it, it kind of looks like green number 7's going to set a screen. It kind of looks like he's going to set a screen. It's like, oh, nope. He sees white coming at him. He's like, I'm going to spin out of this.
Yeah. So what I guess I'm going to say is, guys, you have flexibility. You're managing your game. You're calling your game. You're discussing with your crew what you're doing and why you made that call. And now you're working forward with what has occurred there.
Yeah, you could go ahead and say, Ralph is talking about, you could say, hey, White, you got to let green clear through. You got to let him clear through.
Brian, on the audio, Brian does say that. You got to let him go through after he blew the whistle. After he blew the whistle. And then he realized
Rob Wyman
should have been a flag. Yeah.
You talk to them. Yeah, you talk to the guys. You're talking to them. And actually, the guy who's talking should be – so hold on a second, guys. So the guy who should be talking to him is not this guy way up here. It is Lee down low who is seeing this crap going on and is close to the players, or even the single side who's looking at should be watching the crease at this point.
Brenton Landrum's in the house. Brenton, welcome to the webinar. And he's asking, would anybody be upset if it was a pass on this and no call?
Absolutely. I'm probably, not knowing the game, I'm probably passing on the call and talking to the guys.
Yeah, just looking at the individual play itself, I would say, yeah, I'm okay with the no call. Zach here said that the game was chippy all night, and so
That's
feel like
fine
you
too.
know, make the call.
That's why you guys are paid as officials. And this is like hockey. There's crap going on all the time. You got to manage your game. With the technical fouls, you manage a game primarily, if you can, through technical fouls in a hot, kind of hot game.
Oh yeah, that's the easy one there.
This is the best example of this I think I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yep.
Doesn't get any better than this.
That's easy.
So we have a foul. It's inside the restraining lines before possession, before we have any release. So Green's going to be getting possession here. We have to make sure that the players are still restrained when we restart play.
So before you get to that, so yes, Frank, we have playing without the stick. It's going to be green ball. And the one thing that I was talking about earlier, once that stick's gone and 23 is not getting out of the way, he didn't even have to do this. I think we need to call the situation with playing without the stick. If anybody has to deviate around him, the ball's underneath him, call it. Just like the withholding, when the ball's checked out of the stick and it hits the ground and you know all hell's going to break loose on that stick and anybody near it. This is kind of the same situation. Now, moving on to what Dustin is saying, is nobody has gotten possession, so we're still in the face-off. And when you present possession, the proper technique, although adjustable, is the face-off play. The face-off official should have the restart, and the other two should make sure nobody crosses the restraining lines. That there's no substitutions. The attackmen and defensemen are not coming forward until you blow the ball into play, and the ball will come into play right where it is, because it's not a face-off violation. It's away from the circle.
One other thing I'd like to point out: where is my lead left official? Seemed like he got out of there rather quickly. Some fields have that center circle for the soccer lines. When the face-off official blows a whistle to start play, at the minimum, he should be around that line and not be so quick to back out of there, especially whenever the ball's loose. You got to officiate the face-off. You're the secondary face-off official, so unless we have like a tie ball game or a one-goal ball game where we need to get to those GLEs as soon as the face-off has commenced, then we need to be in there to kind of give a little bit of assistance on this.
Right. Yeah, so
Right, the next one.
That guy is just not.
I left some rice boiling on the stove. Watch this one now and discuss amongst yourselves.
Nothing.
But that's one of the things I was talking about, though. See how Green is in the middle of that play? We can be quicker. I know me personally, I have never been fast on this. I probably need to be quicker on blowing that whistle when 23 is right in the middle of that loose ball without his stick. That way we don't have any problems. Nobody's slapping. He's not in the, not in disadvantaging white.
He's not trying to engage himself in the
play. but he's affecting the play because he's there. He's right there with the ball.
Yeah.
Now, I have heard some officials say, and it's not written anywhere, but I've heard some officials say that you blow the whistle when a guy loses his stick.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's necessary. And actually, in this case, you might be hurting a fast break the other direction. So a play on is, play on and not an immediate whistle is probably the best call. But you saw 23 was there where the ball was for a little while, and that should immediately be the play on. But he eventually gets himself out of the area, and the ball rolls through and gets out away from him.
Yeah, I personally not penalizing that.
I think
I don't think it affected anything.
I think the best call there, as soon as that sticks down and he's in the area the ball is the play on.
Yeah.
Is probably the best. Is probably the best call because you can clean it up later. And now there you go, white ball. They're going. Play on's over.
Yeah. All right.
This has been a weakness in my calls. I kind of as long as the guy doesn't do anything, he's standing there and the ball and everybody's all around him. I've ignored it in the past.
That's what I'm more inclined to go with there.
I think I need to be a little bit more aggressive on calling the play on.
Okay, let's move on to the next one here. All right, I have a series of over and backs. Frank, on that last one, did you think that guy was too close to the ball? You would have called him for that play without a stick? Not that time? Okay. Thought it was close. Go either way on that last one.
Definitely we have over and back here. We have separate colors at the midline trying to gain possession of the ground ball. I say at that point right there, nobody's an advantage to scoop and go. Blow the whistle, make the call, get it restarted closer to that midline. The official, get down there, and you can have help from your trail official coming up to get that restart. Or even if the single side gets there soon enough, he can make that restart.
Yeah, Jay Mayfield, I agree with you that should have blown this whistle quicker because there's a bunch of guys out there. Nobody's going to get a fast break here. Just blow it right when it hits that line.
So here's my whole thought on this one is if you got a defender offense, the new offense, the old defense, the new attackman should be entitled to the ball. We got an over and back, right? So that's number one. Number two, with the rule change, with this whole 5-yard immediate restart, the guy's got to get 5 yards. There's very little reason to delay. If the guy's all by himself, the defender's off talking to a coach, he's well away, you don't see anybody with him, then maybe you let it go. But otherwise, a quick and then another quick whistle to restart once he has it in his hand. Now that blue player has to get 5 yards away from him at some point before or else they're going to have another penalty. So that rule really advantages us to be quicker on that whistle on the over and back. And if you screw it up, you can whistle right back in again. And the defense has to get clear.
Get away. Yeah, I think when you let this little pile go on that long, now you're risking a slash or two slashes. And now what you're going to do, you got to remember the simultaneous business, and you're in trouble. So make it easier on you. That's right, Frank. Nothing good happens when the ball's on the ground. All right. So let's look at another over and back. And Lux, this kind of plays into what you were talking about, quick restart business. There never was a whistle on this one.
Good.
So right there, play on. There's really nothing in that case. The guy's almost 3-4 yards away anyway. A whistle still doesn't hurt anything. It just forces green to back up a little bit more. So this is really a a non-issue. Probably the perfect thing is a whistle, because that guy's inside a 5. The whistle gets him 5. You restart it immediately. But then, you're affecting the flow of the game. If it's flowing fine,
Right.
let it go. Don't over ref.
So this one worked. This one worked out okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think anybody would have complained if you blew the whistle there and do the quick restart. Now Green's got to get out the way. The guy White can run right to the goal, but it worked out okay here. But what if Green stripped the ball from him?
Right. Exactly.
Later? Then you realize, he didn't really.
There, and you got to make sure that White has an opportunity of a free play right there.
Yeah, he really does. He's got this guy on his back. I don't know. I wouldn't have.
So I think the better call, just in general, again, you make the call in your game, would be to blow that whistle there, because the guy is within 5 yards. He doesn't have an immediate fast break. Blow the whistle again, and now Green has to get 5.
Now, is it an option to, when it touches, play on?
Yeah, when
play on over.
That's the line. In actuality, it's a play on and then a whistle. In the truest sense of the world, you really almost always should be a play on and a whistle. But
I'm talking about if Green would have stripped the ball from him within a few steps.
Now you're running into problems. Now you got to defend that, right? Because he's now made an offensive play. He's got the ball on his stick. The guy took it away. You've created that position by not giving that offensive player the ball with, like Dustin said, a free play, a free start.
Well, you want to make sure that he continues with that advantage, but we can't let him get 10, 15 yards and then the ball gets checked out of his cross. And
right.
Wait, he didn't get that fair advantage. So it has to be, as soon as he scoops that ball, within that first 2 or 3 yards, if you know what I mean, if he doesn't get that ball checked out right away, then we're going to let it go. We
right. And Rob Wyman points out a good point, is you could say play on right here, and he gets a couple steps, play on's over. If he loses the ball, you've now clearly defined that penalty is over, and now he's on his own. So, that would work too. I'm just now with the new rule in place, I'm quicker on the whistle, and then another whistle if I need to, because I know all that requires now is the defender to give him 5 yards.
Right. I think the offense, the new ball carrier, is advantaged by the quick restart, because not only is he getting the ball, now he's got an opportunity to draw a 30-second penalty, time served.
Yeah, exactly.
So in this particular case, though, my curiosity is to ask y'all, do you think that if we would have blown the whistle right as it hit the line right there, that we would have taken an advantage away from White?
No.
I don't think so either. I don't think he really had an advantage. He was going to get the ball. It's not just can he get the ball, it's can he get the ball with an advantage. Are you ripping him off of his fast break? And I don't think we would have if we would have blown it here. And there was possibility that Green could have ridden him hard and gotten the ball from him somewhere downfield.
No.
Right, and now you're screwed, because he really had a good chance for a restart.
All right, now here's another one. Another over and back.
Ooh. How did he get there? I missed it.
Yeah, right.
White push.
This brings up some good discussion here.
I need to move.
He's stepping on the line already.
Thumbnails.
What came first? Did he get pushed? And did the step on the line draw a play on followed by a White push?
My thumbnails, I can't see when that ball crosses the midline.
All right, let me see if I can
three
change
thumbnails
that.
of us three at the bottom.
Right. Okay.
How about that?
So given the situation, he's stepped on the line, but the question is, has the guy pushed him? Again, this is a 50-50 call. You don't know if he's been pushing him towards the line all the way to that point, but you definitely have a push. So whatever you call here, you sell. And I'm selling the push probably. That guy.
We don't even have we don't have over and back until that ball hits the line right here, and White has already done his push. So we got a White push, play on, and then when the guy falls over and goes offsides or the ball goes over, that kills the play on, and we're going to give the ball to green.
Now, great position. Look where the ref is on this. He is on that line.
Yep.
Regardless of what the hell is called here, he's in great position.
Right.
The other thing I want to bring out, though, is the other officials who are helping. So the single side, one of the things that was brought to my attention, I was doing a college game where it was loud in the stadium. One of the suggested items was run to where the ball is. Here it's on the sideline. In my case, it was in the middle of field. Be part of the help to that guy who's all the way across the field with that call. And so I don't see him in the picture, but I'm just pointing out that that official who we don't see, who's coming up eventually here, can help out that other official by being as close to the ball as possible. But that means he has to hustle to get in the position.
So this is real difficult in live play, especially for the guy on the other side of the field. What came first, the nudge or the foot on the line? Man, that's just who knows.
I think that Dave Mayfield got it correct here in the chat box. Rob states that we got the green offsides. Look at the left foot. Jay puts looks like he was still onside and pushed. Foot was on the blue, not white. Yeah, you can see here the green player steps on the blue portion of the midline, not the white, and then the push happens. So right there, you can see his foot was on the blue, then the push. So yeah, definitely go with the push on here.
After further review from the booth, we're going with the push.
So this is that what you call a triangle, the Bermuda Triangle. You're right in front of the benches. They know exactly what the hell happened. So that's where I'm saying the single side really well. Actually,
hold on. That's the new lead. That's lead up there. That's the former trail.
Yeah, that's
up
right.
on the line. Yeah.
The good news is he's in a great position. Sell it. Don't worry about it. Move on.
Yeah.
Because he's where he needs to be. He's good.
All right. It is 7:30, but we have just a couple more to go. Let's see. I have a plain old offsides. I'm going to skip.
Whoever that official was,
this is not the best camera work, but it was another
we
one.
We got all kinds of guys stepping across the line there.
Right. And they end up both across the line.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I do as an official, and now you guys can all tell me I'm a jerk. But my point on this, when it's something like that, is I didn't see it. It's moved on. It's both sides have done.
Oh, you're a jerk.
We're just playing on. They're both there. If I have to talk to a coach about it, and who was offsides first? If I know, then maybe I can make a call. But more than likely, both of them are there.
Well, let's just walk through the mechanics. If you saw it and wanted to call it and could not tell which foul occurred first, so we have teams from both sides with technical fouls that you can't tell which came first. So what are you going to do?
Award the ball AP. Simultaneous technical fouls during a loose ball. Award ball via AP.
Right. Right. Exactly. So that's what I was thinking on this one. If you're going to do anything, you're going to do AP. In this case, I don't know who was going to get AP, but you could have probably the correct thing to do would be to do AP.
Right. Yeah, the team that's losing.
Yeah, that's another thing to consider. Again, guys, game management. You got a rule book. Use everything to your advantage for the appropriate. If it's a tie ball game in the end, probably the best thing to do is an AP there. If it's a blowout one way or the other, you might be able to ignore it, or you give the ball to the team that's getting their ass kicked.
All right, we're going to finish with. We have two more. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah. Hook him around the neck. I don't see any reason to call this anything other than a hold. you'll hear, but he got him in the neck. Yeah, yes, sir. He got him in the neck. He was holding him, textbook
Right.
hold. I wouldn't go with any kind of illegal body check or any type of head and neck type of call. This is just not. It's not a garden variety hold, but this would be considered a holding call.
Right. If you need to go higher, you're gonna have to try to, create something. It's a hold. And I would say 99% of the time. Now, lacrosse is discussing this exact play of where you whiplash and the neck, what to do about that. But right now, that's a hold.
It looked to me like he was trying to use his stick as a bottle top remover, a twist off of a 2-liter Coke.
If you need to go higher, if you really think he yanked on the dude around the neck and did something, what you have as a next step is unnecessary roughness.
Right, which can be defined as excessively violent commission of another lesser foul. Excessively violent holding.
Right.
You could call it.
And what's being discussed now is on those neck holds is the whole idea that it's now in the head. We need to get this out of the game 2 to 3 minutes, but I don't think that's happening this season.
Double flags.
I think they did call a hold. I don't think I have a signal in here.
And that's pretty much the norm call on that. I would say 95% of the time it's a hold. If you see a guy pick him up around the neck or do something that really whiplashes them, or again, game management tells you need a little bit more, you got the unnecessary roughness.
I put that in there because this was unusually twisty.
Yeah.
It looked kind of violent to the head, to the neck. It looked dangerous. It just had a dangerous look to me.
Yep.
All right. And we'll finish with this one, and game management might play a role in this last one that we're going to look at.
C. The answer is C. Oh. I'm not quite sure what happened there.
The players got tangled up, it looks like.
Yeah.
Those are the tough ones. 16-6. I mean, I guess you could get away with.
But his hands up under an illegal front check. You might get a hold or an unnecessary roughness for throwing him to the ground. I don't know.
It got an ooh from the crowd.
Yeah.
This is like a minute 20 left, and the score is 16-10, and White is losing. But as you can see there, White gets him under the armpit, lifts him up, and body slams him. 27 has been in the weight room.
Yeah, but again, the guy's in the air. He's not grounded. He's fallen not necessarily because of hard contact, but because of he's in the air.
And take a look at the scoreboard. We're in the fourth quarter. There's a minute and 27 seconds left to go in the game. The score is 16-6.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it's White. Who's losing? White or
White's
Green?
losing.
White's losing. Yeah, that's what I said. Fourth quarter, minute 20 to go. It's 16-6. Now, if you notice, that's Brian Landry there. He sees something, and first he goes to his flag with his right hand. Then he goes, "Nope, we're letting it go."
Yeah, and I'm probably the same thing. I mean, yes, you can call a hold, but I'm not so sure that's a hold. Maybe a cross check as 3 came in there if you're really looking for a penalty, but and White gets the ball. In a game that's one-sided, I want the losing team with the ball because they won't be slashing and hacking at the winning team.
Now let's look at it a little bit more. I would say if this was a close game and it's a tie game or close, I think that's at least a hold. The guy gets him under his armpit and helps lift him, and then
he's controlling his body.
Yeah, boom, and he's got him hooked in the armpit. I certainly would not argue with anybody who called at least a hold there. And depending on the game, if somebody wanted to go unnecessary roughness for the body slam, slamming him down, like I could go there too, depending on the game. That's just me.
What about the
But I
face
think Brian passed on it because the game's almost over. We're not going to penalize White. Let's just get this game finished.
We got a question about the face-off here. White kicked something. Did he kick the stick? Let's see.
Look, he's got him under his armpit, lifting him up, and not letting.
Yeah, there's probably a hold there. Seeing that super slow mo, I'll give.
Yeah, right. That makes all. Look, I need to get a job as an instant replay official. I can do that. I'll do better at that than the live play.
That kick, that white kick looked fine.
White kick, cross, yeah.
Did he kick the cross? I didn't see the cross get kicked.
Right there.
Yeah, maybe.
It's hard to tell if he got kicked or the guy.
But again, you're not leaning towards calling
Trying not to foul White.
a 50-50 on the team that's getting their asses beat.
Yeah. All right, that is the last one for tonight. Casey's asking about checking with the new EKG chest protector, and every indication that I see is that when you certify the coach, he says they're equipped and ready to play, and we do not lift.
Correct.
We do not lift up anybody's clothing.
Correct.
And it's on the coach.
So you may want to remind the coach of that, the CODIS protector, but they do not want you looking at inspecting or any of that for that chest protector.
Yeah.
Paraphernalias, electric whistles, and things like that at the college level on the 31st, but they're looking at it at all levels and seeing, can I breathe? Can I breathe with a freaking gator around my face and all that stuff? So that should be interesting.
I can't breathe without a gator.
I know.
And remind everybody that January the 30th is a lot of games and a big tournament in Lafayette with multiple fields. So that'd be another good opportunity to knock the rust off and do a lot of running all day to get used to officiating again before the season starts at the end of February. And hopefully some things will pop up to get more rust off and do more training for new officials even in early February. All right.
It's great seeing everybody.
Thank y'all.